Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Simon Mayoye. I'm wearing the hat of Manrs. You can call it good manners, bad manners, or something like that. I have a different hat as well. Of course, I can also represent still on the stage where I'm an operator. But of course, with support for this. My argument basically is from a point where come from back in the days, a couple of years when I was working with the previous employer, and is like one of the telcos. One of the telcos comes to the internet exchange, as I think has been there. Yeah, so they decide not to upgrade their link to the exchange. They're doing like 10 Mbps, and the traffic into their network is more than that. And of course, you can't take them anywhere. You can only argue out on the mailing list, some of the mailing list where people don't respond. And so you decide whether maybe to shut down the session with them and route your traffic towards Europe. Better higher latency without packet loss rather than a few milliseconds with so much packet loss. So, and the thing is, like, where can you take such people? There's no structures in place. And I really, personally, I like the idea whereby some community members come up with an initiative whereby they're like, can we come up with a concept whereby we can enlist you if you are able to achieve, or rather to be able to operate your network in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways. And why not? Because while emails can't work, it could be a motivation that you are enlisted there. I mean, so that's how the mutually agreed norms for routing security came up. So the team basically came up with this based on some of the, of course, we should be having a problem. Okay, so the routing incidents are increasing, and these are just a few of the many instances that we have on the internet. I can't say this is the latest update, but going back like a year ago, in 2017 alone, 14,000 routing outages. If we follow the routing updates and all the tech news, you've seen that 14,000 outages, attacks such as hijacking, leaking, spoofing, and the likes. We have about 40% of all networks, 40% of all network incidents are basically attacks. We have incidents which are at a global scale. Okay, so basically this is one of the listing of the incidents that are increasing. Then routing incidents cause real problems, because you can't just sit there and say, since operator ABC is causing issues on the internet, I don't care, because it will affect you. Okay, so we have insecure routing is one of the most common parts for malicious threats. Then you have attacks that can take anywhere from hours to months to recognize. Inadvertent errors can take entire countries offline, and we've seen this. We've seen an example, part of the slides. And then to the basics of how routing works. So we have, as we speak, probably more than this, but as per the deck, there are 60,000 core networks. And of course, we identify them by AS numbers across the internet, each using a unique AS number to identify itself. On top of that, we have routers which usually use BGP to exchange reachability information. Then the routers themselves, for them to be able to exchange the BGP information, They build a routing table and pick the best route when sending packet, typically based on shortest path. Okay, so on the routing issue, so BGP is based entirely on trust between networks, no built-in validation that updates are legitimate. Then the chain of trust spans continents, and then there's lack of reliable resource data. I think everyone has seen, we've seen this before, cases of, we've heard of the famous Pakistan, how it knocked down YouTube, the DDoS attacks, the BGP security flaws, cost Amazon, and all the list can go on and on. So we have all these as some of the issues that are recorded that are like drivers to the initiative. Okay, so there's no day without an attack unless you're not like really monitoring the internet, because at least there will be an incident. And of course, coming out of this, from my perspective, well, I do support any initiative that comes together, especially from the community, for the betterment of the running of the internet. That's why we participate into this. So the threats, in brief, what is happening, you can say event one, we have prefix, route hijack, where a network operator impersonates another network operator, pretending that a server or network is their client. So I'll wake up and then start announcing a prefix as if it is mine, and yet it's not mine. Okay, so packets are forwarded to the wrong place and can cause issues, including those attacks. Okay, and we have some solutions which have been proposed. So we have stronger filtering policies. Then we have the other one, route leak, where a network operator with multiple upstream providers, often due to accidental misconfiguration, which happens quite a lot, announces to one upstream that has a route to a destination through the other upstream provider. So the repercussions we have can be used for traffic inspection and reconnaissance. And of course, we also have a solution for it: stronger filtering policies. Then we have the IP address spoofing, where someone creates packets with a false secure IP address to hide the identity of the sender. So basically, you pretend with a false identity, and then the root cause, the repercussion is more of the root cause for of reflection DDoS attack, and then you also have a solution which is source address validation. So this is just part of the trace that we have, and we have tools that I could say I can implement personally on my network to be able to mitigate that. We have prefix list, ASPAP, RPKI, BGPsec. However, the tools themselves might not be enough, because there's a demarcation whereby if you hijack my route, it's beyond me. So collaboration and consensus. Your security is in someone's hand. The actions of others directly impact you and your network security. So as I mentioned earlier, you can't just sit there and say, as long as it does that, people will know. Of course, you'll send that email to the mailing list saying, actually, the cause was not me, but the other one, but the damage has been done. So why should they help? Then you can start by helping them. Then where is the line between good and bad routing? Security. So these are some of the questions that pop up during such discussions as we head towards now the mutually agreed concepts. So we are in this together. Network operators have a responsibility to ensure a globally robust and secure routing. You cannot depend on some things. I think one of the presenters earlier today was saying there's an exchange, there's a country whereby he sends emails, but they never respond. He doesn't know why. So, these are things which happen, okay? Your network's safety depends on a routing infrastructure that weeds out bad actors and accidental misconfigurations that wreak havoc on the internet. The more network operators work together, the fewer incidents there will be and the less damage they can do. So as much as I have my competition, I'll have to work closely with them so that I may have a cleaner internet to run. So the solution, that's where Manrs come through, whereby is an abbreviation of mutually agreed norms for security, for routing security. So provides crucial fixes to reduce the most common routing threats. And I think I might need to specify it provides crucial prefixes. So it's not like the full solution to the issue that we have on the internet, because we have other people who you could be having a different idea on how to do, but you cannot say that I'll be able to solve this situation on my own. And so basically that's what we're saying. It provides mutual fixes, crucial fixes to reduce, because we can't clearly like complete everything at once. It is a journey. So Manrs improve the security and reliability of the global internet routing system based on collaboration among participants and shared responsibility for the internet infrastructure. So whereby we have customers to keep, you have customers to serve. However, those customers, your customers will need to communicate to my customers. And for that to happen, both of us need to collaborate to be able to give them the best service. Okay, so Manrs defines 4 simple, and I can say it's a continuous process. They can go eventually to 6 or 8, and that's why recently the steering team have been sending emails for people who want also to contribute, who want to volunteer to contribute, because yes, the list might not be complete, and the contribution of other community members might be helpful to make the list not longer. But what was constituted first is 4 simple but concrete actions that network operators must implement to drastically improve internet security and reliability. Of course, not to fix everything, but to improve. So the first 2, so they've been split into 2. The first 2 to improve operational improvements, eliminate the root cause of common routing and attacks, while the second 2 is more procedural steps, which improve and decrease likelihood of future incidents. Okay, so more is more. 2 of them is operational. The other one is more procedures to be able to mitigate that. So these are the steps that have been enlisted in the Manrs procedures that have been enlisted so far. So we have the filtering, where we prevent propagation of incorrect routing information. Then we have the second one, which is anti-spoofing. We have the third one, coordination. And then we have the fourth one, global validation. So joining Manrs, everyone will benefit. Okay, and how and in which way? So joining Manrs means joining a community of security-minded network operators committed to making the global routing infrastructure more robust and secure. Then you have consistent Manrs adoption yields steady improvement, but we need more networks to implement the actions and more customers to demand routing security best practices. And for me, this is key because, I mean, I'll have a different view probably towards the team that constituted this, but it's more of, you can't stand there and throw the stone whereby this is not implementable. Rather, joining into the team and saying, can we adjust here and there for the betterment of the network? Okay. So the more network operators apply Manrs actions, the fewer incidents there will be, and the less damage they can do. So business case for Manrs and routing security. We have to help solve global network problems. okay, whereby it's lead by example to improve routing security and ensure a globally robust and secure routing infrastructure. We also have to add competitive value and differentiate in a flat price driven network, market, and then you have to lock in from a connectivity provider to a security partner. So we have some of the reasons why providers should join Manrs. Okay, why enterprises? So we have different categories. In the way we run networks, we have the providers, we have the enterprises. So to improve the organizational security posture, we have to prevent and address security incidents. Manrs provide a foundation for value-added services. Okay, so we also have the other group, which is the IXPs. Okay, whereby we have there is a synergy between Manrs and IXPs. IXPs form a community with a common operational objective. Actually, IXPs then they'll be contributing a lot because most of the providers are connected there. We have other scenarios where operators who peer in public exchange points, they have a rule, simple rule that we cannot not peer with you unless you are on the peering DB. I hope everyone understands what peering DB is. And you realize that really being on peering DB does not being on peering DB does not mean that the sessions not come up. But of course, some of the reasons that is pointing out here, like out of the 4 issues that we just pointed out, how is your coordination? How reachable are you in case there's an issue that we want to resolve? Shall I send an email and it's ignored from Wednesday and maybe until next Wednesday before it's responded to? Do you have secure measures whereby I'm sure if I send this particular route to you, you're not going to play with it in a manner that probably leak it, hijack it, or route it wrongly? Okay, so some of them have implemented such issues, but they just put on your maybe routing policy. So Manrs generally came up whereby it's like, can we deal with different classes of people? We have providers, we have enterprises, and we have IXPs. And then can we say, using this as a motivation, we can enlist those people who buy into this idea of participating in cleaning the internet, then you'll be enlisted somewhere else. And then the more people come on board, the better we run the networks that we do run. So this is the website, the homepage for Manrs, whereby there are procedures on how to sign up if you are willing to join, so that you participate in one of the 3 ways. If you're an operator, an enterprise, or IXP, it shows the list of things that you need to meet so that you may be able to qualify as one of the participants of in Manrs. On the same website, we have the implementation guide with the link, with the detailed implementation. The team is willing also to be able to support you to run some tests if you want, so that you may be able to meet the prerequisites that they have. We can say it's a long journey. They've decided probably to start like this by signing up. We don't know. Maybe their contribution eventually will be more of, can we go forward and be part of the communities to see how the implementations are, if there is time. But the way networks are growing, probably there will be no time. And that's why it's more of giving a guide. Then whoever is willing to follow the procedure and join the team that is evangelizing this, then so be it. Okay, so we have some of the training modules. Of course, they're available on the Manrs website. And that's it. Any comments, questions? All right, so if no questions or comments, then probably we have those resources where you can get information, and also you can contact us in case of anything. We have On the same website, we have networks that have already been enlisted who have managed to meet the prerequisites for that. So if I can jump on the other side as an operator, I'm part of Manrs. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Simon.